Hi there. How y'all doing? More Arkham City, y'all. As you can see, I'm still in the animated series costume. Normally I would, like every other video, I would have switched it by now, but I just like this one. So we're going to stick with it. This right here is your introduction to using the remote control batarangs, electrifying the remote control batarangs, because some switches you have to, they won't open up unless you electrify the batarang first. So there we go. All good. This is one of my favorite parts of the game. The part inside the museum, the entire museum section of this game. And I really like running through here and gathering all the Riddler trophies because they're all in really fun and cool places. But we're in here to rescue the police. We're here to rescue Mr. Freeze. And then there is a boss battle with the Penguin. And actually, the Penguin isn't really the boss battle. The boss battle, if you're watching this is no spoiler. If you're watching this, you know it's Solomon Grundy. Weird thing. And normally I would like to, give you some kind of background or history. With Solomon Grundy, it's really difficult because there's so many of them. There have been so many different variations on his origin and his powers and his character, for that matter, depending on whoever was writing those stories or which superhero he was fighting at the time. He's just had, it's just changed. I can tell you, he came out in 1944, and originally he was an enemy of the Golden Age Green Lantern, the Alan Scott Green Lantern from the Justice Society of America.
You wouldn't believe the fight the old snowman put up.
The Alan Scott Green Lantern that, for whatever reason, DC Comics tried an experiment like a year or two ago, and they were going to make one of their characters gay and see how that would affect their sales, and they chose Alan Scott. In which, I never read any of the Golden Age stuff. That was like 35 years or so before I was born. But, they announced it's Alan Scott, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's all right. I don't really care. Now, if they'd say they would have tried Nightwing, if they would have all of a sudden out of the blue tried to make Nightwing gay, then I would have had a problem with it, because I've been following his story my entire life. And he's had relationships with so many different superheroines that this is a guy you'd be going, no, absolutely not. There is no way I'm buying that this guy is gay. Dick Grayson is not gay, I'm sorry. But it was Alan Scott, so, who cares? It's all good. Alright, next police officer.
Thank you. Are you from the 13th?
There's more in this room.
Where's the rest of
There's more in another room. But I'm going to go save Mr. Freeze first before we go into that other room. If not, whenever you save all those guys, you have to come back out, go all the way across, save Mr. Freeze, and then go back to the same place you just were. So that's how this is going to work. And you got to move real slow. You're on thin ice here. Kind of creeping along, creeping along. Ah! And just like the dinosaur, when you first walk into the museum, tell me the very first time you played this game that didn't scare the shit out of you. I was not expecting that the first time I turned this on.
He's like a mobile garbage truck. Whatever I drop in that tank just...
And also, you have to save the police officers first. I can't just go run to Mr. Freeze right now or run up to the other room that's back there. You have to save the police first. Now, apparently they'll die if you don't, so you're Batman, you can't let them die.
So cold.
But the
He
boss battle with Solomon Grundy. It's surprisingly, again, when I first played this game and he first comes out and he's humongous and you're like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do here? It really isn't that difficult of a boss battle. But I remember Solomon Grundy from the, they did a series of the Super Friends when I was a kid. It's called Challenge of the Super Friends, and that was the Legion of Doom. They took 13 supervillains that had a lot of which had never been in any animated TV show ever. Some of them were really obscure characters, like the Cheetah. And like Sinestro, I don't think had ever been in a cartoon before. The Scarecrow, I don't remember. There were old Batman cartoons, but I don't remember ever seeing the Scarecrow in any of them. There's a lot of that. Toyman.
What are you gonna do now? Didn't we tell you that was gonna happen?
But Solomon Grundy was one of the characters that was on that show. There was like a Comedy Central commercial that came on where they were parodying that, and Brainiac was one of the guys in there too, and he's like, "Can I just get a decent pair of pants? All I want is some pants." And Solomon Grundy goes, "Solomon Grundy want pants too!" That's one of them things you just never forget. I'll be 80 years old and I'll still be laughing about that. On the way in, we want to rescue Mr. Freeze. And you can take the time to poke into all these little cells that the Penguin has set up in here. Like the one we just passed has the Joker's hyenas in it, which we'd seen a lot in the animated series and some other places. Alright, here we go. Sickle, we've already fought Mr. Hammer when we were going after the Joker.
I shall slice you.
These guys I don't like.
American.
They're not really that tough, they're just irritating when you're trying to put down other guys. Because the only way to stop them swinging at you when Mr. Hammer's swinging the hammer at you, you have to jump out of the way.
I hear you defeated my brother. He was always weaker than me.
And if you saw my video where I fought Mr. Hammer, I tried to use the bat claw too, and I ended up just pretty much smacking myself in the head with his hammer, so that doesn't work either. And you see Mr. Freeze up there trapped. It's obviously too hot. His body has to be at sub-zero temperatures, and the Penguin's got the heat on. Before I save him, there's another Titan container back here. Don't want to forget this Titan container. Because unless you're going for Riddler trophies or solving Riddler challenges or whatever, we don't even need to come back in here. And I'm going to open this door. If you're coming for Riddler trophies later, it's a lot easier if that door's open. You can come through that way on the other side. Now we'll save Mr. Freeze. I don't want to do too much history on, give you too much about Mr. Freeze right now because there's a whole huge boss battle coming up with him later. I'll save it all for then. Oh, come on already. And Mr. Freeze is trapped in the microwave. Alright, I'm gonna sip the brew.
Joker's cure. Where is it?
Forget the clown.
I do like, though, however, the character of Mr. Freeze has evolved into kind of a sympathetic character. He didn't used to be that way when I was a kid. He was just a full-on, straight-up evil villain when I was a kid. Now he's a lot more of a sympathetic. You kind of feel bad for him.
I cannot complete my work without it. I must have it.
Alright, y'all. Got me a fresh beer. Cracking into this.
Everything.
Penguin is protecting himself with your ice gun. How do I get past it?
Do I look like a fool? Why would I tell you that?
Because if I can't get past it, I won't help you get your suit.
I always liked how his name's Freeze, but it's spelled like fries.
If you're gone, what will happen to Nora?
Leave my wife out of this.
Kind of interesting.
Don't let this situation...
I don't know what's up with his ears, though.
We are not
Or
friends.
lack of ears. Batman's ears are pretty prominent.
Today is not a good day to push me, Victor.
Stop!
Yeah, he's kind of poisoned. You might want to, his patience is going to be a little thin today. What's with his fingertips, too? Why are his fingertips black?
How did that work out for you?
Why don't you go get
Is that like frostbitten, or...?
and figure out a way to stop him yourself?
It's been a pleasure, Victor.
His body has to be kept at sub-zero temperatures, but his body never, you know, gangrenesces or anything. He's a really interesting character. I like Mr. Freeze a lot. I'm gonna get back to him later. But I came to do this first, so we don't have to run all the way back after we do this next part. Oh, but I was talking about Solomon Grundy, and like I said, his depending on which superhero he was fighting or whoever was writing that story, his powers have changed, his character has changed. There's been versions of him where the version that I like the most is the one that I remember because I'm a Batman guy, and he was
Can you hear me? Of course you can.
he was kind of just a big, mindless zombie who could not be killed. He was virtually indestructible.
Yeah? Screw you.
You know, he's invulnerable to fire and extreme cold, and he's invulnerable to magic. Green Lantern's power ring has absolutely no effect on him whatsoever. He's a big, mindless brute with enhanced strength, and there have been versions where he was fighting Superman where he was portrayed to be stronger than Superman. Where even with Superman's immense strength, where his power obviously coming from our yellow sun, Solomon Grundy was stronger than him in some versions.
Anyone wearing them will be able to spot me hiding up in the darkness.
However, in this version, in this game, Batman using his exploding gel and then he just a lot of punches, Batman beats him, and that's kind of, you know what I mean? It just changes all the time, depending on who's doing the story. Alright, so we got some stealth shit we gotta have going on here, and you know stealth isn't my thing. There's a guy under us, too.
Tell the boys there's an extra 100 grand in it for whoever brings them in alive.
And again, Penguin has those heart monitors, so every time I take somebody down, everyone else in the room knows I'm here. Okay, wait, yeah, there's a guy over there. I probably should have went for him because his back was to us. That's alright, his back's still to us. Alright, that's 3 down, and I believe there's only 3 more. Yeah, and they're all together, too. That's no good. Because I haven't unlocked the weapon yet that turns their guns off. Wait, hold on. I'm going to try this. This probably won't work.
I'm one man down.
Not one, but that doesn't mean they're not going to turn around. Oh, yeah. I was talking over it, and I didn't even notice. Some of them are wearing those headsets, so if I'm hiding up on top of those gargoyles, they can see me. With the night vision goggles, I guess they are. Or thermal goggles, whatever.
What's happening to that? Have you lot stopped Batman yet? What about Freeze's suit?
Alright, all good. So we go talk to these cops.
I saw you clear the room. It's awesome work, man. The name's Tom.
It actually was. I normally don't do that well.
Gordon's strike team.
Usually.
I've seen your file.
Yeah, sipping the brew while they're talking.
I mean, yes, sir. Cobblepot's turned this place into a fortress. Someone ratted us out. Me and the boys got grabbed, brought here, and beaten the crap out of.
But there have been other versions of Solomon Grundy where he was like Frankenstein's monster. He was extremely literate and extremely intelligent, and then most of the ones that I've ever read, though, he was just a big, lumbering, extremely unintelligent ogre. Okay, see this cutscene right here? This was because we already went to talk to Mr. Freeze. If we hadn't have done that, now we would have to go all the way back over there and then all the way back over here again to get this gadget.
Wait 10 minutes. Then get this over to Freeze. He won't be dangerous.
No problem.
Which the Penguin has stolen Mr. Freeze's freeze cannon. And basically this gadget that we're going to take turns it off so he can't use it against us. Alright, all good. And these are like, you know, Batman leather gloves. It's the costume that you normally get with this, they look mechanical and they, you know what I mean? He's got like computer programming and shit in his gloves. But even in these leather ones, he just takes that chip and plugs it into the leather and it still works out okay.
Looks like the ice is beginning to thaw.
No, not that way. This way. Come on, get it together, Bats. And there we go again. And you know, even though it pops out at you once, when you're first playing the game, you don't expect it to pop out at you again. And it scares the shit out of you the second time, too. And I've got an 8-year-old that when I was first playing this game, and I played it through a bunch of times, he knew what was coming at this part, and he would leave the room until this point, and he would go, "Daddy, is that part over yet? Are you at Solomon Grundy yet?" Alright, the penguin's over there. He's got the freeze cannon. And we just gotta go through it. Which, the part that we want to go to is completely on the opposite side of the room. Alright, enable the disruptor.
Tell you what, Batman. I'll give you...
And bam, good to go.
What?
Okay, shoot. Shoot, what are you doing? You're just standing there.
What the hell?
Why are you just standing there? I like watching the penguin fall upside down.
Finished, Cobblepot.
Alright, sipping the brew again.
I'm sorry. Please, don't hurt me.
I can't guarantee that.
Okay, so that's the bottom of a broken beer bottle embedded in his face. Wouldn't you think if he got punched in the face too many times that could totally blind him? Yeah, there's the gloves I'm talking about, and those look mechanical, like you can plug like computer chips and shit into them.
Walk away.
USB cords or whatever.
You had to be the big man. Well, guess what? From up here, you look pretty small.
It makes you feel pretty good, don't it, Oswald? That's normally you.
Oh, don't look so sad. I've got a little surprise for you down there.
Yeah. There we go. I remember the first time I'm running through this and I was like, oh shit. What am I supposed to do here and how do I fight that thing? Now technically with most of the versions of Grundy that I read growing up, Batman really, the way that you fight him in this game, Batman really should not be able to take him down this way. Grundy is indestructible. He's a zombie. Oh, there have been a lot of different versions of how he came to be in the first place. Apparently, his name was Cyrus Gold. That how he died changed a lot. Like there was one version which was really strange where he was a pedophile, and there was like villagers that killed him and threw him in the swamp, and then 25 years later, through some mystical energy, the swamp matter merged with his body and he was born, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different versions. Basically, you just gotta run around in circles here. And when it's not electrified, wait for the electricity to stop. Then use your quick fire explosive gel, and yeah. So this part isn't that hard. Actually, the last wave of these you have to do, I kind of have a problem with. But the first few, not a big deal.
Let's see how much that ugly son of a bitch
Apparently,
can
like,
take.
Cyrus Gold comes back to life, and it's been 25 years and his memory's gone, and he can't remember what his name is. All he can remember is that he was born on a Monday. And he was in, like, some hobo camp, and they remembered that, you know, the 19th century nursery rhyme that he was just saying, Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. And that was where they got his name from. Oh, man, just barely got out of the way of that. Next one, and I will level up as soon as this is done. Oh, man. Alright, all good there. Alright. Okay, that's it. We're done. I'm going to sip the brew. Let's wrap this up and we can get out of here. Oh! Haha! We're not done. Again, the first time I played this game, I'm going, dude, it can't be that easy. Well, it's not. It's not at all. And I don't recall a whole lot of versions of his story where it was electricity that was bringing him back to life. There was a lot of versions where, yeah, this is where it starts getting a little tricky for me. It's still not that difficult, but I'm going to get hit by electricity a lot here. Yeah. Alright, next. Yeah, and you see these little electric things that are coming at you too? Those things will totally screw with you.
Now with the bloody explosives! I made it!
And they want you, obviously, to use the quick-fire batarang, but yeah, which maybe I should be doing. This would be going a lot smoother. Alright, we're good here. Alright. So, if you know anything about the Grundy character, I think this boss battle is a little strange. It's still really cool. Everything in this game is cool. There isn't anything in this game that isn't cool. And I just think this is a little strange if you know kind of Grundy's history.
Versus the bird.
Oh. Okay, I thought he was going to shoot me there. I jumped forward instead of to the side.
Where is...
And sip in the brew. Yeah, here's one of my favorite parts in this game. I laugh every time. I can't help it.
Well, look who it is. Mr.
That right there. Dude, I don't care. I don't care how many times I've played this and how many times I've seen that. I still have to laugh every time.
You will regret what you did, Mr. Cobblepot.
But for the most part, this is it for the Penguin in this game. I'm glad they did something with him. Unlike Arkham Asylum, where they alluded to him if you were looking for, like, Easter eggs and shit, but they really didn't do anything with him at all.
Creating an antidote to the disease that afflicts the clown was easy. Unfortunately, the cure degrades too quickly.
And this part,
Needs a restorative.
the museum part of this game, is a pretty decent chunk of the game. It's a pretty long mission, so they use the Penguin for quite a bit.
Is not the only problem.
I don't know if they're going to do that one in the next one or not. I wouldn't mind.
Bonded to human DNA. That will take decades. Time, it appears, you do not have.
What if I told you I know a man who's been exposed to that enzyme for centuries?
What man?
His name is Ra's al Ghul.
Bring him to me.
Yeah, here we go. And this is going to lead into the next part of the game.
Only hope.
Ra's al Ghul is dead.
Then you,
Ra's al Ghul.
clown, are doomed.
Not exactly.
Which I like that part a lot too. It's just a long trek. You have to go through the sewers, and it's a long... It takes a while to get there. You have to go clear to the other side of the map and then run through the sewers.
Blasphemer! You are not worthy
Go
to
back down
stand
through the
with
subway
great Ra's al
again.
Ghul.
But it is cool. It is really cool.
Fool, Batman. You've let your only hope escape.
No, Victor. If Ra's
Alright,
al Ghul
well,
is in
I'm going to end up wrapping this up here.
I now have a trail
So-
right to him.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please click like and subscribe. There is a lot more to come. Catch you guys next time.